Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Welcome to my channel Learn Math with Sayyid Ali. Today we will be continuing our topic for quadratic equations and their solution. And we have learned that we can solve the quadratic equation by three methods: completing square method, quadratic formula method, factoring method. And today we will take an example, one quadratic equation, and we'll solve that equation with three methods. So let's take an example. So the example may be x square minus 6x plus 8 is equals to 0, right? So what is completing square method? Completing square method is that we have to, first step is we have to divide the whole equation by the coefficient of x square. But fortunately in this equation we don't have any coefficient, it is 1. So 1 is like meaningless. So we are not dividing with 1. It's nothing. To divide with 1, it remains same. So the first method is not here. First step is not here. Second method is we have to divide the coefficient of x with 2 and square it. So what is half of 6? 3. And what is the square of 3? 9. And that number we want to add. And that will make my perfect square. So now what I did by myself is I add 9 to this, and I cannot add it, right? Because if I add something, I have to subtract it as well to make no change to the equation. So I did not change the equation if I add 9 and I subtract 9. But I take this advantage that now my x square minus 6x plus 9 is a whole square of x minus 3 whole square. And this thing becomes minus 1 equals to 0. So this is how we complete the square. And remember these two steps: divide the whole equation by the coefficient of x square. And second step, rewrite the equation by adding half of the x coefficient and square it. Always make half of it and square it. That need to be added. If you add that, you have to subtract that as well. So you subtract that. And then you have a perfect square. If you have this perfect square, then you can transfer this constant to the other side of the equation. And then if you want to remove this square, then you have to take the root of both sides. So it becomes like this. And then you have to take the square root of 1, which is plus minus 1. So I have now two signs because of this radical. So I can write x minus 3 is equals to 1 and x minus 3 is equals to minus 1. So here I will get x is equals to 4 and x is equals to 2, right? So I have my answer. I have my roots of this quadratic equation as 4 and 2. So remember these steps. And then the quadratic formula method, which is quadratic formula is minus b plus minus under root b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. And we have to figure out our ABC. The question is same: x square minus 6x plus 8 is equals to 0. What is my A? 1. What is my B? Minus 6. What is my C? 8. And I have to plug it in these values into the formula, quadratic formula. So minus B, minus minus plus, so that makes plus 6, plus minus under the root b square minus 6 square, that makes 36, minus 4 times a is 1, and c is 8. So this is my substitution, or plug in the values. 2a, 2 times a means 2 times 1. Now I have to solve this. 6 plus minus under the root 36 is there, and then when you multiply this part, it becomes 4 times 8 is 32 divided by 2. And then you say 6 plus minus, what is left? 36 minus 32 is 4, right? So 4 divided by 2. What is the square root of 4? The square root of 4 is 2. So you have to write it 1 time minus, 1 time plus, 6 plus 2 divided by 2 and 6 minus 2 divided by 2. So 6 plus 2 divided by 2 is 8, 8 divided by 2 and 4 divided by 2. So I have my answer as 4 and 2 is my roots of the equation. And that is same which we did by the completing square method. So now we see the third method, which is factoring method. So equation remains same. What is my question? X square minus 6x plus 8 is my question. And I have to, what is my first step here? I have to multiply the coefficient of x square with the constant. And then I have to make that 2 factors of 8, which gives me, upon addition or subtraction, the middle term. So 2 4s are 8. I can see that these 2 factors will work because 2 times 4 is 8. And if I put minus 2 and minus 4, that will give me minus 6. Minus 4, that will give me minus 6, which is my middle term. So that is the way we get the 2 factors. Since I have lack of space, so I will remove it. So my 2 factors are minus 2 and minus 6. So I'll rewrite it. X square minus 4x minus 2x plus 8. So you can see here that we did not, although we break this minus 6 into 2 factors, but we did not change the equation, because if you see, if you add these 2 terms, you are getting back minus 6x. So now you can pair it up and you can take the common. X is common, x minus 4, minus 2 is common, x minus 4. Remember that when you take minus common, the inside sign is change, right? And always you know that these 2 brackets has to be same. So you have to write them once. So you write them once. And whatever was common, you take it in the other parenthesis. And then you have to separate these 2 brackets. These are your factor form. Either x minus 4 is equals to 0 or x minus 2 equals to 0. That means x may be equals to 4 or x may be equals to 2. So you get your answer of the quadratic equation or quadratic solution, which is 4 and 2 by factoring method. So these are the 3 methods which we learned separately, and now we are seeing them on the same page, that we can do a single quadratic equation solution by 3 method. So what is the 3 method? Completing the square method. This is completing square method. This is quadratic formula method. And third one is factoring method. All 3 methods have got their steps, and we have discussed them in separate videos. Now we have collectively seen that a single equation can be solved by the 3 methods: completing square method, quadratic formula method, and factoring method. And we receive the same answer, right? So the answer to this equation is same. So what are the steps? We can revise one more time maybe. Completing square method has got 3 steps. First step is divide the whole equation by the coefficient of x square. Second step, we have to make the half of coefficient of x and square it. So half of coefficient of x is 3 and square it is 9. We add that number. When we add some number, we have to subtract that number 2 because we don't want to change the equation, and we did that. The thing where we add that makes a perfect square, and then we proceed to get the roots of the quadratic equation. Formula method is easy. You have to remember only the formula. Minus b plus minus under root b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. Say it several times so that you can memorize it for a longer time. And then there is a factoring method. Hope you like the video. If you like it, press the bell icon button, subscribe my channel. Share my channel with your friends and family friends. Maybe they are looking for some assistance in math. So thank you for watching.